Alright guys, we're going to do another part video here. We're in our descent into the Grand Rapids Airport, planning to do the ILS to runway 35. Just a quick setup for you here. We're going to very quickly go through this. We've pulled our weather from the Grand Rapids Airport, and it's looking like we're going to land straight in on runway 35, do the ILS. You can see where we're at, sort of heading that direction. We've got Rachel here with us doing the LC5 stuff, and go ahead and set that altimeter of 2992, and we're going to have her help us out here once we get to a position where we're actually ready for her. I'm going to bring out the speed brakes. Don't need the ice anymore, so anti-ice off.
Check.
And she wonderful. We're out of 18,000 feet though. I'm going to go ahead and flip all this back on. And things are going to be happening pretty fast here because I got us in pretty close. So we're going to keep on trucking down to 5,000 feet, let's say. We are in VNAV, and right now the FMC is looking at crossing Judd at above 3,000 feet. That's the path that we're on in VNAV path, in VNAV with VNAV select. We've got our landing data. Got our ATIS. We built our approach in the FMC. We bugged the approach 357, touchdown of 790 with a frequency of 111.9. Ran our landing data. It did give me 129, 134, auto brakes 3, gives me 1,741 feet of margin. So my latest touchdown point is going to be somewhere, we just call it 2,500 feet. I'd be looking at the 2,500 footers with the planned taxi routing of Bravo 4 Victor to the ramp. If we take a look at the backside of our checklist here for our arrival briefing, we're not on a star. We're going to do 3-5 flaps, 30 brakes, 3 touchdown point we just talked about. 18,000 feet is our transition level. No adverse weather in the area. It's a pretty good VFR day here. These other items aren't all that applicable for us today. Taxi routing, we already talked about that even. So, I think we can do our checklists and continue on from there. Descent checklist.
Ascent checklist. Minimums.
Set.
VREF and VTarget.
What did we say? I already forgot. 129, 134 set.
Auto brake.
3 set.
Recall.
Checked.
Descent checklist complete.
And she'll even do the recall there for you. Approach checklist. Approach checklist.
Approach
She
checklist.
got her lights there.
Altimeters.
2992 set.
Packs.
Auto.
Start switches.
Left continuous. Left continuous.
Approach checklist complete.
Alrighty, we're doing alright. Coming out of 10,000 feet, it's going to slow for us in VNAV. If I was in vertical speed or level change, I'd have to worry about that, take care of that myself. We are still on path, but it's starting to reverse on me, so I'm going to go ahead and bring the speed brakes out so that I can keep this thing on path. Now, if I got high on path, there's only 2 things I can do. I can either increase the speed by opening the speed window and rolling the speed to a higher speed. Think about that. If I'm at idle and I increase the speed to 300 knots, what does the aircraft do? The nose pitches over and increases the descent rate. But if I have a speed restriction or on my star, or I'm below 10,000 feet, I'm speed restricted at 250 knots, what can I do? The only thing I can do is use the speed brake. That's all you can really do. You might be able to cheat a little bit, perhaps open the window, do 255 knots, 260 knots, use the speed brake. That might help a little bit. But generally speaking,
feet.
that's all you can do. So 10,000 feet. Ding our flight attendants here. Thanks for the reminder there, Rachel.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Of course, you can hear the flight attendants then making their announcement. Amazing. The other part of this video, what I want to show you is stabilize approach and landing. So what do we need to do? Stabilize approach criteria. What do I need? I need to be fully configured on speed or within 5 to 10 knots of speed, I would say, by the time I reach 1,000 feet AGL, which is going to be the top of the white bar on my altitude tape. One thing that you can do, thank you for the message there, you can put the runway in the fixed page, which is what I always do. You can even draw yourself some rings, maybe a 10-mile ring. How about even a 15-mile ring? Actually, I'm going to go 14. I'll tell you why. 4 miles. So if I'm doing 250 knots and I want to slow to 210, that's 40 knots. It takes about 1 mile for every 10 knots to slow. So I need to start slowing by that 14-mile ring to make sure that I'm at 210 by 10 miles. I shoot for flaps 5, 210 knots at 10 miles. And if I follow my windows, so to speak, then I got a great shot at being stabilized. So I'm going to keep just a little speed brake out here. I'm on speed, on path. But this thing does tend to like to get high. I do have a slight tailwind, which is going to affect that as well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and engage LNAV because on this heading, I want the aircraft to intercept that course and fly it inbound. And you watch, as long as I've got LNAV engaged on that heading, it will intercept. You can even see the little arc that it's already drawn for me. I'm going to keep this thing coming down. I'm supposed to be a Judd at 3,000 feet. Let's go 3,000. Keep it in the path. And you might have noticed too that when I open the speed window, sometimes it will go to VNAV speed, meaning it's not looking at the path anymore. It's more trying to achieve a speed more so than it is a path, and it will go high on you because it's not trying to necessarily achieve that speed or that path anymore. It's looking more at the speed. But generally what you're looking at here is this vertical deviation indicator right here as well. Am I on target here as far as path? Am I on speed, which it's trying to achieve? And then your descent profile, Judd 3,000. I need 1,300 and almost 1,400 foot per minute. And right now I'm only doing 650. That's why it says I'm a little well, it's starting to pick it up now. But I need 1,400 feet per minute to cross Judd at 3,000. You can also see the green banana shows where I'm going to reach 3,000. So as you pitch up, pitch down, you can watch the banana move in and out. And that's how you know that you're going to be, at that fix at that altitude as well. So again, what I'm looking for, flaps 5, 210 at the 10-mile ring. So I'm going to start slowing down at the 14-mile ring. I could probably even do it a little later because I'm only at 240, but there's no point in pressing the field. Get rid of my speed brake. I'll leave it armed. Alright, there's the runway in sight out there in the distance. At this point I'm going to go ahead and arm my approach mode. Vorlok is already captured. The glide slope has not yet shown up. It should be any second. And actually in VNAV it's already got me starting to slow. I'm going to go ahead and open the window, slow to 210 manually. And you should watch the throttles come back to idle. So I'm at my ring there, 14, looking to slow to 210. I want to be 210, flaps 5 by the 10-mile ring. And I'm going to give you a few other windows to look at so that you'll be stabilized every single time. Here comes my ghost needle for my glide slope, the white. As soon as it captures, what we'll do then is set our missed approach altitude of 3,000 feet, which is actually already there. I need do nothing. Alright, since I'm going to start riding this glide slope down, it's hard to slow down and go down. So I'm going to bug about 170 and I'm going to go flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
I want to get that drag out. It's going to be awfully hard to slow down out of 210 going down without that drag. Even though I'm still more than 10 miles out, I want that drag as I start that descent. I'm still showing 11 miles from the field, which also shows the prog page there, 11 miles. Now, if I'm still not slowing down, I got some options, gear or speed brake. And I can use the speed brake with flaps 10. Once I go to flaps 15, I have to have the speed brake stowed. So right now, I'm 10 miles out, I'm doing 210, and I got flaps 5. I'm actually in great shape. So I'm going to go ahead and retract it. I'll leave it armed. Now the next window I'm looking for is 2,000 AGL. So if you've bugged your touchdown zone, simply put a 2 in front of that. At 2,790 feet, we'll call it 280, I'm going to go landing gear down in flaps 15, and then I'm going to bug flaps 15 speed. Now, if you're approaching any one of these windows and you're a little high, a little fast, you need to do something sooner. So if you're looking at that and you're like, I don't think I'm going to be at 210, 10 miles out, you're still looking at 230, you need to do something now. Maybe drop the gear. Definitely get the speed brakes out if nothing else. So there we are, coming up on 2,800 feet. That's 2,000 AGL. You can even see it in the radar altimeter. I'm at 170. I'm in great shape. I could actually even delay this to 1,700 feet because I'm on speed of 170. Again, I'm not looking to press the field. Landing gear down, flaps 15. Oh my God. She does that to me occasionally. That's one thing I don't like. Landing gear down.
Landing gear down.
And I'll set the 15 manually. She can get you if you're not careful. That is one thing that happens to me occasionally there. Now, next window. Here comes my white tape on my altimeter. I want to be flaps 30. Flaps 30.
Flaps 30.
And I can do so because I'm below that yellow band. I know I got flap speed. I'm going to set target, which is 5 knots is right on top of ref, right? Just like that. Now you look, I'm going to be right on target, right at 1,000 feet AGL. Fully configured. I got 5 green lights before landing checklist.
Before landing checklist. Speed brake.
Arm green light.
Landing gear.
Down 3 green.
Flaps.
30 green light.
Before landing checklist complete. 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet, airspeed 133, sync rate 700. I'm stabilized. We want to be fully configured on or near ref, sorry, on or near target at 1,000 feet AGL. If I was 5 or 10 knots fast, I would continue. If I was 20 knots faster, I wasn't fully configured, I'd probably go around. Another call out from our FO at 500 feet AGL, where the amber tape begins. That's essentially wings level. Shooting for the first, I like the HUD because it gives me the radar altimeter here. Shooting for the first 1,000 to 1,500 feet of the runway, but as long as I'm down inside my briefed latest touchdown point, which I believe was around 2,500 feet, I'm perfectly fine. Keep the 3-degree bar right on the 1,000 footers. Fly the circle in the circle.
50.
At around 30 or 20-ish feet, I'm going to start pulling back. Walk it down. 10 feet, idle. 3, 2, 1.
Extended.
Gets you a pretty decent landing.
Deployed.
Again, you're also in the airline industry. You're trying to provide customer service. You don't want to slam it on the 1,000 footers just because. That doesn't make any sense.
Auto brake disarm. 60 knots.
60 knots out of reverse. We'll tell her flaps up.
Flaps up.
Clearing the side stripe. Watch her do her thing. Once I clear the runway here, I'll do my own.
Welcome to Grand Rapids. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened, seat back and tray table in their
And
full
reset the
upright
trim
and locked
wheel
position,
while on
and all
taxi
carry-on
here.
items completely under the seat.
Goes a lot
presently.
faster with the flaps
When the
still
captain
out.
turns off the fasten
why we do it
seatbelt
that way.
sign, please be careful when opening the overhead bin.
Now you
Items
watch,
may
the
have
flaps are
shifted
coming
during
up.
flight
Watch
and
that
for
auto
fall.
brake switch. There,
You may
she's
now
going
use
to
the sound
take
and
that back
function
to
of your
off
small
for
portable
us.
electronic devices, but please remain seated and leave your carry-on stowed.
Or
Please
she
be advised
should.
the
You
aircraft
might have to
doors
tell
will
her
be open
again
during
here.
ground servicing. For your safety, please ensure that you and any
Flaps
children
up.
you are supervising
Flaps
remain
up.
clear of the front
There,
and
she
back
got
doors.
it.
If you are connecting
First
here
time
to
there, she
another
didn't quite
Southwest flight,
catch it, but
please
now
check
she's
the
doing all
monitors
her
in the
flow
terminal
here.
for
You
your
can see
flight
everything
and
that's
gate number.
happening.
We certainly have
She's pretty
enjoyed
incredible.
sharing part of our day with you. We know you have a choice when you fly, and we thank you for
All right, well, that was a
choosing
two-part
Southwest
video.
Airlines.
I want to show you again Rachel on the inbound portion of the leg, inbound half of the leg. I also want to talk to you a little bit about stabilized approach criteria and what we're looking at for there. Unfortunately, this scenery for Grand Rapids is pretty awful. But it is what it is. We'll get through it. Pulling in at the top of the J line here, I'm going to turn my taxi light off so I don't blind my ground crew. She's got us on the bus with the APU. Actually, it's rolling back. As soon as the blue light comes on, she'll put us on the bus. And you might see that.
On the bus.
There we go. She's wonderful. Makes my life easy. Good FO. Get her on the line. We'll get it stopped. And we'll go ahead and set the parking brake. She's got us on the bus. Weather radar is off. That's an important one, too. Thrust levers cut off. One pump on. Seatbelts off. And I killed the program. But she would turn the anti-collision light off, open up the isolation valve, the APU bleed, and turn off the electric hydraulic pumps. And then we'd run our parking checklist. Again, all I really wanted to show you was the second half of the flight there that I had started out of Midway to Grand Rapids to show you the cockpit prep and setup with Rachel, the interactive co-pilot. But also talk to you a little bit about stabilized approach and landing video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. I hope that helps, and we'll see you later.